Did it?
So it's just a chat.
Okay, it's just a chat.
So thank you, Carol, for giving time to me on Wise Women Weekday. So hello to those that are looking. I've got Carol Macartney on the sofa today, having spent, where are we? Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, exotic sofa in
Exotic
Sri Lanka.
sofa, and we're watching them get the jet ski out, so it might be noisy in a minute, but I've just been on an amazing yoga retreat with Carol, because she takes yoga, I don't know, you take it to the full depth of what yoga is. You live your yoga, which I love. And I've been trying to pin you down all week, haven't I, for an interview or a chat, and it's our last day. So we thought, let's do it now. It's now or never. So again, thank you, Carol.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
So tell me, yoga. I mean, what does it mean to you, yoga, and how did you get into it?
Yoga for me is really a way of life. It's just a way of life now. We're going to be interrupted with
that's no worries. We're just getting our little
a mocktail.
Mocktail, a non-alcoholic drink. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Coordinated.
Yeah, cheers. Of course, it was planned that way, wasn't it? So we've got lime and soda here. Yes, non-alcoholic, of course.
Yeah, so yoga for me is a way of life now. I mean, initially it's a way of maintaining the body, looking after the body, but once you get into it, you realise it's so much more than that. So it's really the oldest form of self-development.
The oldest form of self. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
looking into, we come in through the body and maintain a healthy body by doing bending and stretching, but it's more learning how to breathe with different pranayama rhythms, which takes you in a little bit deeper. So you start with the physical, then you work on the breath, which takes you in a bit deeper. I suppose it's a journey of involution.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it is all internal, isn't it?
It is. It's taking you in deeper and deeper. And then through that internalization or that involution, then it becomes self-inquiry.
Self-inquiry. Because I think a lot of people come to yoga, quite often something's happened in their lives. I know, I think for me, I was pregnant, that's actually, so it wasn't a distressing time, but it was something that I thought, let's do something about the body as I was in my pregnancy. And then I had the children and I paused on yoga, but I went back because I was going through quite a rough time in my life. And I didn't realise how important it is until one day I turned up and the teacher wasn't there, and I was crying. I just burst out crying, and I realised the importance and the value, because you take it for granted. And a lot of people just turn up for yoga, like gym yoga,
Exactly.
fit and bendy, and it's not that at all. But
No.
do you think that's changing as well as we're moving
Well,
forward?
I think there's always a duality. So I think there is still that aspect of gym yoga, Instagram yoga, let's call it that, the perfect body, the named branded leggings, and all of that goes with it. So there is that aspect, which is the more more shallow. Look at me, look how bendy I am. That can be slightly off-putting because it isn't about that. It's about, as you say, in a way, it could be considered to be therapy.
Yeah.
A form of therapy.
Yeah, well, there is yoga therapy, isn't there? I think
There is yoga.
It's something.
Yeah. However, yoga therapy again is a slightly different. What I mean is that involution, that kind of journey in to self-inquiry, to kind of realising that, oh my God, I'm hanging on to a lot of stuff from my past.
Yeah.
But how do I even get to recognise that? Well, by going in and being quiet, meditation, really.
So how does the posture work, the asana, how does that fit in with the meditation and the pranayama, which is like a method of breathing?
Well, like we're just saying, the posture really is maintaining a healthy body is the great thing, and that's most people's introduction to yoga. I want to do yoga so that I can be flexible and bendy and maintain a healthy body. So that's, sorry, what was your question?
Well, it's because there's so many different aspects, and like you say, people come into yoga because they think you want to get flexible and bendy and do all these wonderful poses, but taking it a little bit deeper, how do then people take it that next step? Do you think it isn't an involution, as you call it, it's something that happens automatically? Is it you get a good teacher? Because that's why
Exactly
I love it. It's what, teacher or automatically?
No, I think if you've got a good teacher, a teacher that has spent many years, doing the practice, going on their own on the journey, going to impart that knowledge.
Agreed. I think that's why, one of the reasons why I really love your yoga, because I used to teach it, and I think once you've gone through a teacher training course, you can't, because like you said, it's a way of life, you can't just leave it behind, can you?
No.
You try and live your life in a yogic way, which isn't just about being bendy on the mat, but also you go to many classes and you see many teachers, because there's so many now. You said I think you can even learn it on the internet.
Yeah, you can do a teacher training on the internet in 48 hours.
Which is absurd, and then you get that bit of paper that says I'm a yoga teacher, and they just miss the point. So finding yoga teachers that take it to the next steps, great, because you will teach them more challenging postures. You're doing headstands and all sorts of stuff and handstands, but that isn't the main thing, is it? That's like thrown in.
Yeah.
Your classes, we've been practicing 3.5 hours in the morning, and then another 90 minutes, in the afternoon, which has been so beneficial. But because you do this pranayama, you do the chants and you do the kriyas, and then you bring out the little stories about the Hanuman. So tell me about the Hanuman one.
Yes, so there's a Hanumanasana, which is the split pose.
The splits.
So all of the postures, all of the asana have a Sanskrit name. And Hanumanasana, for example, is the split pose. You see the monkey god, Hanuman, leaping, across from mainland India back in the days when Ceylon, Sri Lanka was called Ceylon. And this is according to yogic philosophy, mythology, if you like. And Hanuman made the leap across to Ceylon to rescue Sita from the evil god that had stolen her away from her love, Rama. And so Hanuman was Rama's devotee, if you like, and his wingman. And, he could see that Rama was utterly bereft without Sita, and so therefore he took it upon himself to go, I'm going to find his love, his wife, I'm going to bring her back. And so he went through the whole of India with an army of monkeys, thousands of monkeys, and went from the top of India, North India, all the way down, got to the bottom of India, and it's like, well, we haven't found her, there's only one place to go, it's Ceylon. How do we get there? So he made this giant leap. And of course that leap is the monkey with his legs astride, as wide as you can, making the leap to Sri Lanka.
Which Elaine was demonstrating
demonstrating beautifully.
This week,
yes,
as was Tor, and I think I was watching.
Yes. But again, it's not about doing the perfect asana, the perfect posture. It's for a retreat. For me, when I offer a retreat, is about taking people through a process, through a really deep process. Wonderful to bring people to a beautiful place and eat wonderful food and be with like-minded, open-hearted people. All of that is part of it, sharing, the tears, the laughter, etc. But for me, it's as equal to that is, of equal importance to that is I take people through their own process at the same time. So when they leave, maybe they've looked a little bit deeper at their lives, looking into their hearts, looking into what they're holding on to, and they can release. Feel very safe to release.
And we've had quite a lot of that this week.
We have, and that's what I try and do, is create an environment of, being the eternal mother, wanting people to feel safe in an environment, feeling safe with me, feeling safe with each other, to let go. If you feel like having a cry, you can have a cry, you're not going to be judged. If you feel like laughing out loud for absolutely no reason at all,
we had some of that.
You can do that and nobody's going to think you're barking mad. It's just a process, but it's an ongoing process. You're not going to get to the heart of everything in one single retreat or in one class or one 6-week course. So it's like an ongoing.
It is a lifestyle, isn't it?
It is. It really is, and it's something that can change your life, because it's the way that you start to view everything, the way that you start to recognise that there's nothing more important in this life, really, but love.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's love, but before that, of course, we've got to deal with forgiveness and guilt and anger and shame and blame and all of the stuff we're hanging on to from our conditioning.
Yes.
And it could be the conditioning that we're born with, ancestral, that we carry with us, but it's also the conditioning from our upbringing, depending on the circumstances, you know, that we've been born into. We're affected by the things around us, by the reactions that we get from our parents or our families or our loved ones. You know, when we do a certain something, it creates a reaction. And so we start to learn, people like it if I do that. I get a smile and they love me. And that's all of us want, is to be loved.
Yeah, wanting to be loved.
But what we then start to do is that all of the impressions that come across us, you know, our eyes and our ears and through our five senses, we start to build up a persona. And so instead of just recognising we're born in bliss as a little baby, all babies are born in bliss, we start to move in a world where, because we want to be loved, we start to take on patterns of behaviour that we're responding to the reactions of others. And then we build up a persona of who we think we should be, instead of recognising who we are as bliss. We were born in bliss, we'll die in bliss, you know, that's it. So it's almost like we create a false self, a false identity. That's the word I'm looking for. So we create an identity for ourselves based on all of the impressions from within, impressions from outside, and then we're not happy. We get to a point on the path of yoga where we go, oh my God, I'm not who I thought, I'm not who I think I am. Who I think I am is of my mind and of built up of layers of all of the impressions. And through the real deep yoga sadhana, the meditation, the pranayama, the combination of the asana, the pranayama and the meditation, we start to recognise that I'm not who I thought I was. I am part of this. I'm part of everything. We're all one.
We are all
really.
one. We are all one. I think labels come into this as well, don't they?
Yeah.
What you're describing is you know, when we're born, we are given labels, whether it's a name or then you become a daughter or you know, a mother or a sister or a friend.
Roles. That we play.
And like you're saying, you have to fulfil those roles to the best of your ability, and then you get liked or not. It's like taking the apple to the teacher, isn't it? You take the apple to the teacher, she likes you. And
Yes, exactly.
And it's undoing all that, which is kind of hard, being a human being.
It's really hard, unravelling it all. I mean, look at the world today. How many people are in therapy or need therapy? But actually, if you just slowed down and kind of looked within, you can therapize yourself. But of course, you have to have the tools to do that. It's easier said than done. But if you've got a good teacher that can guide you back to you, because that's all I'm doing. That's all any teacher. We can sit on a mat under the sort of umbrella of teacher, and of course, hopefully through one's own wisdom path. There's a certain amount of wisdom you can impart, but I always like to think that my seva, my being of service to others, is to lead them back to them. And not to put me as their teacher in the moment on some sort of pedestal that inevitably I'm going to fall off.
Yes.
It's about, we talk about the inner guru.
I was just going to come to it. Yes, so please explain what that means.
So the inner guru means the gu of guru is darkness and guru is the light. So it's that which leads us from darkness to light. And so what I hope to do through my teaching, through the teaching rather, is to lead people back to themselves and to recognise that the best teacher for all of us, for any of us, is the inner teacher. So all an outer teacher is doing, like me, is leading you back to you, so that you, or whoever the person is, starts to trust their own authority, their own instincts, their own inner guidance, and however that comes through. Just trust. In women, I would say that we can call it our instinct. But so many times, because of our conditioning, that woman's intuition when you go, I knew I should have taken that path or done that thing. I didn't. What made me not follow it? Well, what made us not follow that is we're not listening and trusting our inner guidance. Because life has knocked us, maybe, partners, mom, dad, there's no blame.
And busyness as well, maybe.
Busyness, yeah, of course. Then we start to trust that someone else is our authority.
Yes.
And it's crazy. you know, we are our own authority, but we've forgotten that.
So talking about that, so we're just going with the flow here. There's no written questions.
No.
Again, I love what you say, because we are our inner guru, and we have been conditioned. You know, you follow what your parents say, then you go to school, you follow what the teacher says, then you go to work, you follow what the boss says.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard to unravel. But what about the spiritual side of things? Because we were just chatting briefly yesterday as we were driving down to this beautiful resort, having finished our yoga retreat, which has taken a few days off. And I just talked about Christianity, I think, and your views on Christianity and spirituality. How does yoga fit into that? Because yoga isn't a religion, is it? Like Hinduism or Buddhism?
No, I mean, it takes its roots from Hinduism, of course, and the 8-limb path of Ashtanga. The father of yoga was believed to be someone called Patanjali. They say it could have been one man, it could have been many men over many years. I like to think, well, why couldn't it have been a woman or many women over many years? But the patriarchal society, it's hard to kind of
absolutely
to kind of start to unpack that and unpick it. So the 8-limb path of Ashtanga was created by Patanjali. So, you know, historically, of course, it's got yoga philosophy. There's many paths of philosophy. But religion, no, it's not a religion. There's no dogma.
No.
It's the oldest form of personal development in the world. And if you follow the 8-limb path of Ashtanga, that's not to be confused with the style of yoga which is called Ashtanga.
No.
It's that the 8-limb path is it's almost like, in similarity to religion, it's like Christianity has the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
You know, that every religion has, with yoga, it's got the 8-limb path. So there's the yamas and the niyamas, those are the first 2 limbs, which is like the code of ethics.
Yes.
The do's and don'ts, the way to live your life.
Like morals, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moral restraints and ethics. And then you've got the asana, which of course is maintaining a healthy body. Pranayama, which is breathing exercises which start to go in a bit deeper.
Yes.
Is the 4th limb. And then you've got pratyahara, which is through the pranayama. Then you come to pratyahara, which is the 5th limb, which is the withdrawal of the senses.
Yeah.
So you're coming in, you're really moving in, eyes closed down, you're not moving out through the 5 senses, really coming in through pratyahara. And then you've got dharana, which is concentration. So once you've withdrawn the senses, you're concentrating.
Yeah.
And the concentration then leads to dhyana, the 7th limb, which is meditation. And then the 8th and final limb is samadhi. And samadhi states of what we hope to obtain, but we can, that's through grace. If we reach samadhi states, then
we might not be here.
Exactly, that's grace. It's grace, really.
Yes.
But we can certainly have very deep meditative experiences. But that's not the same as samadhi states. But that's fundamentally the 8-limb path. Is if we follow those steps. So if you think about it, that is coming from the outer to the inner.
Yeah.
So it is involute.
Yeah. No, I love it.
And then through the involution, then we start to evolve.
And you get it. Kind of, it starts to make sense.
Yeah, because then when you recognise that we're all one, I know that sounds cliche, but there is no separation, that we're part of everything, then we start to recognise the importance of looking after each other, every living being, every living creature, the planet Earth. She is a living being, and right now, we all know, we're at crisis point. We've been raping and pillaging Mother Earth for so long, and more now than at any other time. And of course, population is exploding, and we need to, one of the ways through the yoga is to recognise that, oh my God, we need to come together. And many people are. There's many good things happening, of course, all around the planet. But I believe that if we could simply change consciousness of man and womankind, that there would be no war, there would be no hunger, there would be no disease, we've got it's amazing the potential within us for and we have the potential to heal each other and the entire planet, but not without changing man's consciousness.
But do you think there's some people, bit of a controversial question coming in, do you think there may be some people on this planet that do not want that for humanity? They do not want the higher consciousness?
I think it's just about awareness. I don't think it's a conscious don't want. I think it's that people are sort of sleepwalking, and like we were saying, there's conditioning.
Yeah.
And some parts of the world, people have been raised from birth to be destructive.
Yeah.
And they don't know any different, so it's not their fault.
Yeah.
If you've been raised like that, that's all you know, violence, greed, wanting to overpower other people. So I don't think I think it's lack of proper education. I don't mean education in an academic way. And being educated about these things that we're talking about. Realising that the planet is a living being, realising that if we blow each other up,
we've gone. Yeah.
We've gone. Why are we trying to? What are we doing to each other?
So do you think there's like a good and a bad? Is it, the yin and yang?
Absolutely. We live in a world of duality.
Yeah, and we have to recognise the bad within ourselves, the shadow.
Yes, absolutely.
And put it into balance.
And that is life. There will always be duality. How can there not be? We're, day and night, light and dark, masculine, feminine. We are living in a world of duality.
Yeah.
But what we have to do is pay attention to our own little, own little being, own path. If I'm going to be a freedom fighter, then that's my calling, that's my destiny. If I've chosen the path of the householder, therefore I'm looking after my family, and all I'm fed is bad news and seeing war and destruction and hatred and this and that, then I get distressed. One gets distressed, and one feels powerless, and one feels like, well, what's the point in me? There's nothing I can do. Oh, woe, isn't the world in a terrible state? And just watch that unfold, and there's nothing I can do. It's rubbish. Even if we've chosen the path of the householder, stay positive. Keep watching positive things. See all of the good that there is going on in the world every single moment of every single day. Unfortunately, the powers that be only want to channel bad news because then we're held in fear. Yeah. And if we're held in fear, we can be controlled. If we're free thinkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're dangerous. Almost,
we are.
We can't be controlled. Yeah. I'm just going to look over my shoulder.
Yeah, because my son is just coming in, actually. So we're sitting on the beach, peninsula,
on a jet ski.
And it's quite funny because I saw him whizzing up and down.
Oh, did you? I'm chatting away.
Bless you. But he's safe. He's come back. I think he had a good time.
That's good. That's good.
But on that question, because it's something that I often ask myself, we're living in this duality, this yin yang, this balance, which we need. The shadow and the good side of us. If therefore we were all lovely and kind and compassionate, it would tip, the balance would tip, wouldn't it? Because then the dark side disappeared.
Yes, it would, and so I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
Because without dark, how would we know what light was? And without,
you need them both.
You kind of do need them both. So we have to recognise we're living in a world of duality, and if we're living in our own experiences, I'm living in the light. Keep living in the light. Keep spreading the light. Because possibly then that can affect and help others. That, to me, at the end of the day, it's all about being of service to one another. That's it.
And maybe if we came out of duality, the good, the bad, the black, the white, the yin yang, maybe that therefore takes us to this, this higher level of consciousness.
Yes.
Where we are all living as one because we do recognise that we're all one and we want the good things.
Yes, I think it's important to recognise that, yes, we are living in a world of duality. However, there is a non-dual path, which is the path of Advaita. So if we're paying attention to ourselves, doing the practice, coming to a place of neutrality, that place within ourselves, which is neutral.
Yeah.
The way we perceive the world, is neutral. Then we're more harmonious, then we're more better able to help others. And that's all we can do at the
Yeah.
end of the day, is pay attention to our own sense of duality.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that will reflect out, you know.
Yeah, it spreads.
It does.
Like a ripple
It does.
effect.
Yeah. And I think at the moment humanity's creaking, you know, under
Being challenged.
the pressure of everything. And people are afraid for many different reasons, you know, but we don't need to be afraid, because we're here for a very short time. You know, you get to our stage of life and it's like, well, we've got left in front of us, and
Yeah.
we've had behind
Yeah.
us. And you do start to, we've talked about this, I like the word, we're saging, we're not aging.
Yes.
We're saging.
Saging.
And what we get, you know, okay, the body might not be the same body we
What
were
do you
in.
mean?
Well, you know,
You've seen me in a bikini.
one's body, yeah, and you look fantastic.
Ha
darling.
ha ha.
But you know, everything changes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can be sure of, especially
Yeah.
the food body, the physical
Yes,
body.
the food body.
But there's nothing to fear. You know, it's just everything does change. But what we get with age, let's say, is this certain sense of maturity, wisdom.
I love
There's a
it.
wisdom that
Wise
kind of
women,
comes.
weekdays. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
The wisdom will come, and it does.
It does.
Through experience. I
And so
think.
it's almost like we trade in
Yeah.
all of the things of our youth,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
body,
Yeah.
You know, what we focus on, what we perceive as being the most important thing in our youth, which is me.
Yes. Yeah.
All about me.
Yeah. You see it all around you.
You know, you teenagers, generally, not all of course, but they're not interested in...
No, the deeper stuff.
No, and that's
no.
okay.
It's a process,
No,
isn't
but
it?
it's-
Part of life's pattern.
Exactly. But you do get to, I don't know when, or, you know, it's different, everybody's path is different, but you get to a place in your own life, in your own heart and mind, where you want to help others.
Yeah.
You want to be kind.
Yeah.
You know, you want to spread good. It's just all what? What's
Yeah.
it,
What's the
it all
what's the
for?
purpose? That's yeah.
You know, it's at the end of the day, it's like we've said, life is really fleeting, and there's a Buddhist quote I've said
Yeah. Please do say again.
many times. You know, the Buddhists say one human life is like pulling a hair through butter. One human hair through butter. That's how fleeting life is. And we know at this stage of our lives, it's like, wow, yeah, you know, 62 years have passed.
I know. And where have they gone?
How is
So
that
quick-
even
yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
And so there's that sense of urgency of like, oh my God, if I've only got another, whatever I'm destined to have, 20 years, 30 years, whatever, you know, I just want to live my life and be kind. Be kind to others, serve others, you know, make a difference in any small ways that we can. And like I say, that could be huge. That could be someone decides they're going out to save a certain species, or you know, or open a hospital, or do whatever. It could simply be, I'm going to smile at every single person that I see today.
Which is a lovely
Something
thought.
like that,
Yeah.
yes,
No,
yes,
absolutely. It's
something-
positive, isn't it? It's
You know, simplify.
yeah. Of course.
And that's another teaching that came through many years ago. I think it was Simplify. Now, who said Simplify? A writer that went under the name of Neville Goddard. And one of his sort of pearls of wisdom was simplify. I mean, if we unravel that, that's a simple truth. Simplify.
Because that's kind of what we want, isn't it? A simple life. I think ultimately when you get to this stage in life, or stage in life,
Saging, right? Yes, yeah.
you realise material things, they can bring pleasure, but it's not the ultimate, is it?
No,
It's
not
really
at all.
not. You know, and I think we've been brought up in a very commercial, materialistic world, and very competitive, which is challenging because we all got to try and keep up because that's what we've been taught, or you know, it's been.
Well, and I mean, you know, we're not even. It's the younger generation, isn't it? It's like our own children.
Yeah.
You know, we've both got. I've got one at 32, one at 25, one at 17, and the 17-year-old is, you know, that.
Oh yeah, constantly.
You know,
the screens.
this thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
constantly.
It's like a.
It's
part
an
of his
extension.
hand.
Yes, an extension.
And everything is there, and it's terrifying. It's like
Yeah.
people are missing
Yes.
every moment
Yeah.
just to see the wonder and joy. Looking at this,
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's really quite scary.
It is the
mobile
youngsters.
phone.
The young.
Yeah.
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 And even, I mean, now we're in not a very wealthy country of the world. There is wealth and there's a lot of poverty. We've seen that, but you know, looking around us now, as it's a weekend, a lot of the locals have come to this beautiful place for their weekend, and it's a full moon. But you know, you're looking at them there with their phones. Not so much as in the UK. I think somebody made that observation that, you know, like you're just driving in traffic, they drive quite crazy, don't they? But they allow everybody to share the road.
Yes.
You know, they're still very much living in the present, where we, back in the UK, with, you know, somebody just drives in front of us and they shouldn't have done, it's road rage. We have all this stress and anxiety, but here, they have very little, but they're still okay. And just today, when we had a wonderful day, a really beautiful day today, so we went out, the best, we went out and saw the dolphins in their wild state. Fabulous, jumping they were and playing and everything. But as we're driving through, there's so much poverty, but there's happiness in that poverty, and they're growing their own food, and they've got, well, I heard chickens, I didn't see any chickens, but they capture their own fish. But they've got that wonderful community which we do not seem to have much anymore.
I think we do, but but pockets.
Pockets, generally speaking.
Pockets,
But I mean, talking as you know, the bunch of us that are in our 60s and we are living on our own, and we would love to come back into, you know, a closer community, not living as a commune, but just to have that connection with each other.
Community living, sure.
Which is really, really important. I think we need that. So just ending now, because I think we've been rabbiting on for half an hour. What was that other thing that you said? It was 3 lines. I don't think it's a Rumi quote. You said it in class the other day on the retreat. I don't think it's about being in the present and the future and the past or something like that. Oh, I should have asked you before.
Yeah, I've quoted quite a few quotes.
You have. Yes, you have. They've been great, and I should have written them down actually, but I was in the moment as well. It was a really lovely one. I thought, I'm going to ask you to say it when we.
Oh, bless you. I don't know. Maybe we could.
I'll put it in the bottom.
Put it in the bottom. That's a good idea.
I'll put it in the description.
I'll have a little think there.
But you're full of quotes. That's the thing. You are. You know, it's just automatic. You live your life as a true yogi, and you're really wonderful. You're my favourite teacher. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
And bless you. And so Carol is going to be running other retreats.
Yes, certainly am.
Yeah, maybe here because this is absolutely beautiful. So maybe here.
Yeah, definitely. One in Turkey in May.
One in Turkey in May.
Another.
Maybe in Nepal.
In Nepal later this year, if we can find the perfect venue.
Yeah.
And then back here in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. And you've been doing them for years. You've been all over the world running your retreats.
Yeah, I've been teaching for over 30 years and running retreats probably for 25 years now. Yeah. All around the world. Obviously, little pause in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes. Oh yeah. What's that? Yeah. That thing.
And
you've got a website as well. You've got a website. You've got a channel. You've got a YouTube channel.
Yes,
which isn't very active. We need to get you on.
So
on
I'm not. I tend to be word of mouth, which is possibly a failing, but like we've discussed, I'm not keen on
those things
too much.
No.
So I'm a terrible businesswoman because
you're a yogi.
I have to hope that people hear about me through, other people.
Like say word of mouth.
But to come on my retreats rather than, what's her website? Where is she on Instagram?
Yeah.
I do have an Instagram. Is it called a page or an account?
I think.
Someone made for me, and I always forget to put anything on there, and I can't navigate it anyway.
No, I know.
It's really hearing about me word of mouth. Emailing me.
Yeah, well,
that will always get a response.
I'll put your contact details in the bottom.
Darling.
Well, Carol is based in the Isle of Wight, but also you're going to be working in Portugal, I think, this year, and maybe France this year.
Yeah, teaching at New Earth. It's a conference in Portugal in April. Teaching in Turkey in May. I am hoping to go to France in the Dordogne for 8 weeks, teaching at a friend's campsite in the Dordogne.
That sounds wonderful.
And then tiny homes retreats on the Isle
of Wight, and that's in November.
Yeah, November. That's a weekend retreat.
But you are a yoga teacher that will travel as well, aren't you? That's the thing.
Absolutely. Love to travel. Love to travel. Kids are grown up now.
Yeah.
More time to travel. And also teaching bespoke teacher training.
Bespoke, yes.
And personal development courses. Yeah. So people can kind of sign up for 50 hours, 100 hours. If they want to do a teacher training with me on a one-to-one basis.
So they could do that in the flesh, and they could probably do that
online.
Zoom, yeah,
It's,
as
I mean,
well.
I do prefer in the flesh.
So do I, but needs
You know,
must sometimes.
exactly,
Yeah.
but totally happy to do kind of half and half or,
Yeah.
or whatever. So,
Cool.
oh, the jet skis. Are coming
Okay,
in.
yeah, well, we'll wind up now. I'm just going to turn the camera around so people get a little
Yeah,
view
have a
before the
look.
sun, I think the sun might have gone. Has it gone? So that's the beautiful ocean down there. And yeah, I can't remember, there's our boys. They've been looking after us all week. Well, yesterday since yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a beautiful location. That
stunning.
doesn't, shouldn't be there basically. I love the palm trees, but not the the other things. Yeah, well, I just want people to see what's happening around the world. You know, there's unfortunately,
yes.
it's a windy part of Sri Lanka, so they put this wind farm up. I think with not little resistance from. No, I think they did resist the locals,
did.
but
They
you know the
tried,
governments have got these.
But however, there are these wind turbines dotted along the coastline, but this place, if we could do 180, which we can't at the moment, and people could see this
Oh, around here.
incredible venue.
Yeah,
we
it is.
can't show them right now.
No,
But it's beautiful.
it is.
Isn't
It's,
it?
no, it is. And here come all the locals.
Yeah.
So they'll film them. They normally film us. Hello. Right. Oh. So thank you again, Carol.
Sat nam,
Fabulous
my
chat with
darling.
you.
Sat nam. Thank you very
And
much.
if you've enjoyed this chat, then please put up a like, subscribe, put up a comment, and see you on the next one.
Bye. Sat nam.
Sat nam.